Hey everyone, it's Shay Seeking, and I'm back really quick, hopefully. Um, I just wanted to go in on something that we were talking about earlier. I was interrupted by one of my needy family members, but I am about to go to bed, and I decided, you know what? Let me go back and just try to really focus on making this one short. Because I didn't get to show you guys a little piece of a book that I had found earlier that had something to do with the light in the darkness and um about a goddess or a god or whatever. And then I wanted to go ahead and look up pagan and sarasean so we can kind of get that one knocked out the box so we can start knowing what we're talking about when we're talking about those papal bulls and other things that were happening in the 1400s or the fourth day when we're talking about Genesis, the first couple of chapters or the first chapter. So okay, so let's just go ahead and go right into it. So the pagan, this is the definition in etymology for pagan. I'm guessing etymology, and I don't have like the proper way to explain it, but it's basically giving you the word and kind of like its evolution over time. So it's basically going in as much detail as it can about what these words actually meant at certain times in like and going through school is so funny that I've never, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I've never heard any teacher tell me to pull out a book or look in etymology to find anything. I used to like the dictionary actually when they used to make us what did they used to make us do? Oh, write down the word and then write down the definition so we can memorize it, sometimes a couple of times or whatever. I actually pretty much enjoyed that. But again, I never heard of etymology or anything like that. So, anyways, so it's fun just to look up these words and put them in your itinerary. So when you're going to be reading, you can have a better understanding of what they're actually talking about. So a pagan, noun, mid 14th century. And I'm still asking, are we in the fourth day? So a person of non Christian or non Jewish faith. Okay. This is kind of hitting things on the head for me because the earlier writings about the so called American Indians, and now we're finding out that some of those people were actually so called black people that were already here that didn't come over in the slave trade. Okay. So, oh, again, there was only 250,000 or around that number of African slaves that came over during the slave trade to North America during the entire slave trade. And just as we just saw when we read that Dum Diverses or Doom Diverses, you have uh, them telling people in the 1400s that now it's illegal to they wanted to stop the enslaving of indigenous, I believe is the term that they used, American Indians or whatnot. So again, we never heard about that American Indian slave trade in school. And I always like to say, just because you didn't hear about it and you have not studied it in your indoctrination station doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means it didn't fit the narrative that they wanted to feed to people to keep you in a perpetual um, state of mental and physical, for some people, slavery. So they did not use it. Okay. All these researchers want to keep looking around for stuff they've been looking for 1,000 years. They're not going to find it because they already know who it is or who we're talking about. They just don't want you to know. So they keep you entertained, okay, with these stupid documentaries that they're basically talking around your head because you have not done this type of research to know exactly what they're saying when they're speaking in these terms, right? So, anyway, but reading back, I can see that there are several writings that said that the American Indians didn't believe that they had to have any God outside of themselves that they had to connect to. They didn't believe in idol worship. They didn't have a religion. Okay. So, on that note, we can kind of go back and say that religion was used to uh, enslave people, probably and more than likely. But we have to separate the book from the religion. So I can be any kind of thing. I could be atheist. I could be a religious person, and I can take something from this book right now and keep reading it to you over and over again, and just read that to you and make you think, because you can't have the book. I'm the only one that can have it. So I can hold this book up and say it says whatever it says. But like I told you before, now since I'm hearing what religion has told us, most of the stuff that they say does not correlate with the Bible, or is cherry picking so that it can fit necessary needs to feed the soul. You think it's feeding your soul. It's blowing hot air, because it's not doing anything for you. And if we've been doing this over and over again, and we've been praying to the same God over and over again, maybe there might be a chance that you might be having the wrong one. Okay? So anyway, we'll just go right into the term and read that, and then I'm going to go ahead and read a little piece from this book that I found. So, a person of non-Christian or non-Jewish Jewish faith, from late Latin paganus, pagan, in classical Latin villager, rustic, civilian, non-combatant. Sorry, I already see, I wanted to do the whole thing with chapter 3 and stuff, but I'm so tired. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Okay. So noun use of adjective meaning of country, of the country, okay, of a village, from pagus, country people, province, okay, rural district, originally district limited by markers, thus related to pagir, to fix, fasten, from pi root pag, to fasten. Okay, so when you're fastening something, when I fasten my daughter's seat, okay, car seat or whatnot, I'm clamping it down and putting it in a place where it's gonna stay there. It's gonna be stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. But it depends on who's talking about this definition, who wrote it, how they want these terms to apply. Um, I don't know. I don't really know what we're trying to say here. But again, when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at how I've always been spiritually fastened to this land. So even when people were talking about Africa, I never really embraced that 100%. Okay. I never really, even when we were calling ourselves African American, I still didn't really embrace that. Ignorantly, I would rather use black, than African American, which neither one I don't use today. But I'm just saying. Let's see. Okay. So an adjective from early 15th century. Okay. The religious sense is often said to derive from conservative rule adherence. Okay. Conservative rule adherence to the old gods. Okay. After the Christianization of Roman towns and cities, but the word is in a sense predates that period in church history. Huh. Well, yeah, of course, because church wouldn't have been around. That they needed to put that, establish that and put it in the firmament before they would be able to break away. Okay, just like it said in that article that we read. And I hope I read it to y'all. I hope it's not in one of the videos that I had to take down. You know what? I'm gonna start putting those up. I'm gonna call them like bloopers or something. Because I think that a lot of times when I'm doing this, so many things are coming to my mind and so many things have been said and stuff. And like I said, guys, I'm so sorry that I'm not savvy when it comes to putting these videos together. But what I use is, what is the thing called? QuickTime. Okay. And I used to know how to do these videos. Well, that was still a different way because I was recording myself, I guess. But anyway, I don't know how to clip take clips out or add another clip to another video and everything. So when people interrupt me, like I said before, I usually have to start over and it frustrates me and I lose my place. And so I might have said several good markers in one video and I had to stop it at 15 or 30 minutes in. But I feel like it's valuable information and I maybe even forgot to say it in another video. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just start putting them up. You don't have to watch them if you don't want, but if you would like to see them, I'll put them up and I'll put bloopers or something, so that you'll know that it's not really the whole video. It's just something, you know. Um, but anyhow, the religious sense is often said to derive from conservative rural adherence to the old gods after the Christianization of Roman towns and cities. But the word, in a sense, predates that period in church history and is more likely. See, and this is what I'm saying. This is not a definite anything. It's just, it's more likely. And that's why, well, that's what I like to say when I'm not trying to tell you that I'm trying to say this is for a fact. Okay, so more than likely derived from the use of paganism in Roman military jargon. Okay, for civilian, incompetent, uh, incompetent soldiers, which Christians or Tertullian, century 202, Augustine picked up with the military image of the early church, such as Millites, soldiers of Christ. Um, let's see. Christians picked up with the military imagery of the early church. Okay, soldiers of Christ. I don't know. Applied to modern pantheists, and nature worshippers from 1901. Okay, so nature worshippers, is that people that cared about nature? Because no, it seems like the people that are running things today don't give a damn about nature, don't give a damn about life, don't care about the natural people or the prime root. None of that. They don't care about their seed. They don't care about any of it. So I'm just thinking, what was so bad about these people that did this? And now I don't think worship is a good a word for it, but I'm just saying who gives thanks. Okay. So pagan and heathen are primarily the same in meaning, but pagan, just like savage and I don't know, Negroes. I don't know. But pagan is sometimes distinctively applied to those nations. Okay. Distinctively applied to those nations that, although worshiping false idols, now, if these people didn't believe in your God and you came in and they believed in something else or nothing, then it would be up to you to go ahead and say that their stuff is false because it doesn't apply to, again, the narrative they wanted to mold and build their country on top of the one that was previously here. Okay. So again, it will be false to them. False to who? False to the people, the colonizers, or false to the people that use them. Okay. And then what would a God have been really for these people? Okay. So are more cultivated as the Greeks and Romans and the heathens to uncivilized idolaters. Okay. As tribes of Africa. Okay. So tribes of Africa, I don't know exactly what that means. Because again, Africa has lots of different countries, and those people don't call themselves Africans, and they don't really say, I live in Africa. They say wherever they're from. So, it reminds me of when you check that box on the SF whatever form, or when it comes to checking your nationality, and it says that Black or African Americans are anybody that derive from the groups of whatever from Africa or whatever. I'm just keeping that in mind. So a Mohammedan, and you know what? Mohammedan, okay? I really never even noticed all this stuff I've been looking at with all these different religions and everything. And I don't think it really stood out to me that Ham is in this uh in the word. So is not counted a pagan, much less a heathen. Okay. Okay. So a Mohammedan is not counted a pagan, much less a heathen. Hmm. It's kind of weird. So anybody that doesn't believe in, oh well, okay, okay, I guess because okay, wait a minute. Dang. Okay, when I think about this, what we talking about? Are we talking about like Muslims? Okay? Because even though they're not Christians, so okay, so I know that the source of all these things like Christianity, in my opinion, and uh what do you call them? Christians and Muslims and whoever else, I know that the source of all that stuff was to do one thing to the people. And that's why the books are kind of similar and all these other things. But when we really look into it, and now I'm saying that the greater light to rule the one people, and then the lesser one, the moon, to rule the other. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying it's kind of interesting that I think that their symbol is something to do with the moon, and I think it does have stars on it, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the sun with the Jesuits, or the sun with the Christianity, or the sun that's around the eye when it comes to the Freemasons, whatever. Just a whole bunch of stuff like that. So I guess that if they're not Christians, okay, but if they're in a religion, meaning their brain is preoccupied with some kind of fairy tale, hmm then they're fine. They're pissed off at the free thinkers, the savages. Okay, so the English surname Paine, etc. Hmm, that's strange. I don't know if we're talking about Thomas Paine, and he wrote that. Goodness, the Midnight. Oh, I can't remember, y'all. He wrote a couple things. I try to listen to it. But it's very hard to keep track. Maybe I need to read it. Some stuff is with the Bible. I can listen or read. Okay, but things like that, I try to listen to it while I'm doing things, but I just can't get into it. So I'm thinking maybe I just need to read it. Stuff like that. But it's pretty long. So, anyways, appears by old records to be from Latin paganus, but whether in the sense of villager, rustic, heathen is disputed. Okay, it's also common with Christian names in the 13th century, and was no doubt given without any thought of its meaning. Blah. So let's see if we can pick. Let's see if we can go ahead and see what the sarasean is. All right. Excuse me. I'm not 100% on. What is it? Pagan. Okay, I'm just gonna have to try and Sarah. Oh, okay. Oh, that kind of remind me of Sarah, like the children of Sarah, which would then take me back to something I watched or read a while back about those being actually the people, maybe like North Africa, or like the Moroccan, or maybe even the Moors or whatever, that were finally defeated um, prior to the people coming over here to the Americas, and saying whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside of thinking out loud or whatever. So why is it still good? So tired. Sorry, guys. I do apologize. I need to just get more structure in my life. I'm down here, I'm trying to do something, and the children just want me, during the day, there's nobody, no other adult here, really but me now. So, it's just really hard being everybody's chaperone and BFF and play person. So, I try to I try to be up late, but with my sleeping disorder, you know, I've been doing fine with going to bed around 9 or 10. But recently, and this is why sometimes I go back and forth as to if this is some type of a spiritual thing or something else, or if it is actually a sleeping disorder, because it just seems like there's no shut off for me when it comes to always having my mind going with something. Um, but anyways, um, the last week I had a couple days where I couldn't even go to bed until 4 in the morning. So at least I'm yawning. And hopefully that means I'm going to be going to bed when I go back upstairs. So anyway, Sarasean, Old English, and Arab. Okay. Oh, okay. So all Arabs are not um, Mohammedans or whatever. Um, Nor do I know if a Mohammedan is even a Muslim. Um, when they're talking with this term at that time, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they were, or I mean, because we use Muslim here, or Muslim, so I don't know. Old English and Arab, in Greek and Roman translation, also mid 13th century. Are we in the third day? Just asking. Generally non-Christian, heathen, pagan, um, from Old French Saracen, from Late Latin Saracenus, from Greek Sarakino, um, usually said to be from Arabic Sharakinin. I don't know. Accusative plural of share whatever. Okay, you guys see it. Eastern from shark, east, sunrise. Okay. Okay. Mm. But this is not certain. Okay, but it's not certain. Okay. In medieval times, the name was associated with the biblical Sarah. Wow. Oh my goodness. Dude, this is crazy, dude. I promise you I didn't look up this before, but that was just really on my mind when I seen that. Because I don't know what it is. I'm starting to just literally break down words when I'm reading them before I even go any further and want to look up what the meaning of it is. That's crazy. That's pretty cool though. So what the hell is this? Pepple, pat or bat, clep, something. I don't like saying too much stuff that I can't pronounce or that don't look right to me. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't like doing that. I don't like reading stuff that's weird like that. Might be fucking putting a hex on myself or something. So, uh, self. You see that as whatever. Where I come. Okay. Where I come of Sarah. Okay. 1387. The name Greek and Roman gave to the nomads of Syrian. Okay. So that's okay. So that's where you get the Sarah, and then you got your Cian or Syrian, Syrian, Syrian. Okay, maybe not, but okay, I'll take the Sarah. Um, but Ian, you got the Ian right there. This could be really just shortened up, the SYR. Or I could be reaching. You can let me know. And Arabian deserts. Okay. So again, That's where my mental was leading me when we were talking about this whole sarasean thing. But then again, I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute, we could be talking about, but okay. We could be talking about, um when I think that we're talking about some of these people, I do still think that some of these groups were here, whether they had fled here or whatnot. So don't get me wrong, but that just reminds me, okay? So specific sense of Middle Eastern Muslims from the Crusades. Okay, it's from the Crusades. Okay. So I'm just thinking, are these the people? Which Crusades? I don't know. But are these the people? You know how they say, oh, the Arabics was involved in the slavery and all this other stuff. Who are these people? And were these the people that were on the boats with these crusaders? So from 13, I'm thinking this is 13th century or the third day, is an adjective related to Saracenic or compared to Saracen. Okay. Oh, here it is down here. Large sandstone boulder. And you know what that reminds me of right off the top of the head? I don't know if it's sandstone or not, but that reminds me of that big block that they have over there that they run around and pray around or whatever over in the Middle East, I believe, somewhere. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'll probably, once I leave you guys here, go and look at it and see if this have anything to do with it. Okay. Or any other thing. Um, let's see. 1640 properly Saracen stone, or maybe even the one that they put those notes and stuff in. I don't know. I'll just look it up and see if I can find anything. Sarasean stone from Saracen in the old sense of pagan heathen. Same word will be applied to the ancient leavings out. Wait. The same word was applied to the ancient leavings outside Cornish tin mines. I don't know. Also as Jews, pits. Those being the term that came to mind once to describe the ancient features based on the Bible. Okay, a Saracenate, also Saracenate or whatever, a type of fine soft silk fabric, late 1400s, probably a diminutive of Saracean, meaning Turkish, or Arab. Okay, Gibraltar, Gibraltar. 1590s, are we in the fifth day? Ancient Kelp. Sorry, excuse me. Captured 1710 CE by Saracean leader Tariq. Named Jebel el Tariq. The mountain of Tariq, hence the English name. British possession since 1704. Are we in the seventh day? Figuratively of impregnable. Impregnability. In 1856, formerly also the name of a kind of rock candy. A miscreant. Late 14th century, a heathen, a Saracean, a pagan, an unbeliever, a non-Christian, from miscreant, or from Old French miscreant, also had a noun sense of infidel. And that reminds me of infidelity, because again, I mean, I guess we can, maybe before I read this little clip, maybe we can look at infidel and see what we're talking about before I go running my mouth. So pagan, heretic, sense of villain, vile, rich, and people still calling themselves a rich today. A scoundrel, the first recorded in 1590 in Spencer. Okay. Because I just want to point out though what I do feel that when we're talking about infidelity or when we're talking about you know, uh, shoot, don't to don't like cheat on your wife or go with another whatever a wife or whatever. I really do believe that we're talking about the marrying of nations. The fact that these people came in and took over certain people in certain areas and felt necessary to be someone that will subdue them basically and control them and, take everything from them. I believe that this had to do with the marrying of places. Who would be governing where? Okay. Um, I think that that is what we're talking about. And when it says don't go with someone else, that just means, hey, we're here working with you to do whatever. You don't need to go talking to those people because we're going to be helping you. Maybe even when it came to like the French and the British, they're all both trying to have their hand in a cookie jar. And then what happens when a chief wants to befriend the British, but he sees some funny things going on over there, and then the French come along like, hey, if you come with us or if you do this, we can team up with you, we got more men and we can help you get rid of them. All along you probably finding out that these people at the end of the day they'll work with each other, you know what I'm saying, in order to remove you from your position. Okay. Just like I think that the so-called Native Americans helped at some point, some of the tribes helped the government keep us in a certain way. And now they're finding that, hey, they don't give a damn about us. Like Michael Jackson said, none of us. So you sat there and you helped do this and you helped the hide the fact that we were here as well. And now you see that they don't care about you and you're in a certain situation as well. So, it's come back to bite you basically in the butt. So, Panem, mid 13th century, heathen lands. I would like to use this term too. See, and this is where I get sidetracked. Oh, I write on my little thing right here. I'm trying to be kind of a little bit organized, y'all. Just a little bit. Okay. So, heathen, pagan, Sarasean land or culture. You know what? I want to look that one up too, just for the hell of it. Or faith. Okay. From late Latin, you know the word heathenum. Wait, heathen. Wait, he then dumb. Let me slow down. Okay, heathen, mistaken meaning a heathen person. Okay. Such as via phrases such as panem, lands, liberty. Oh, excuse me. 14th century, a freed man. And also, that's another good one that I wanted to look up lately. Because I've seen somebody trying to... We'll talk about it. An emancipated slave. Okay. Oh, let's look up emancipated. I mean, I'm just enjoying myself when it looks... And you know what? I think I want to put together a little guide if I have time. In the future with these words from etymology and just put it in alphabetical order, so people can maybe use it for a quick note. Because even some of these terms, to be honest with you guys, like the way that my mind works and my memory, like my short-term memory, and I'm like very passionate and filled with things when I'm on it. But if I even go 2 days without speaking to you guys or documenting something, I think I lose a lot of the information too. And I move on to something else. Like I don't know. I was just thinking I need a vacation. We took a little weekend trip thing, but I was just thinking I need a vacation so I can just study and document and whatever. That would just like be the best thing for me. It would just be like a dream come true to just really have a week to just delve in, okay? But, anyways, until that happens, it just makes it even worse for me. So anyway, I would like to do something like that. And maybe I'll put it up on my Facebook page or something. A freedman, an emancipated slave, conditions of a freedman, member of a class. A freedman from Libertas, one freedman, emancipation person, free, liberal. Sense of free thinker. Okay. Is first recorded in 1560 from French libertin. Originally the name given to certain pantheistic Protestants I don't know, maybe I'm gonna say that wrong, but I'm thinking Protestants, but Protestants, we'll just say, sex in France and in Low Countries. The sense partakes more liberty and liberal than the classical meaning, Old French libertarian mean. Sarasean slave converted to Christian. Old French libertine. Okay, because we have to remember that so-called black people weren't the only slaves, and that there were different versions of slavery going on in this land, and we were not the only ones that were so-called slaves. And I don't even know if we were slaves in that sense, right? Okay, where were we at? Okay, I'm so sleepy. From French, originally the name is given to certain. Okay, we already went through that. Slaves converted. Okay, so meaning dissolute or licentious person. Man gave to indulgence of lust. And I think that's the same thing that goes on today. And I think that that's how these people get you in their grips. Either you're going to sign yourself away to that system or that entity, sign your soul over to it, okay? Or you're going to end up giving into some lustful something that they're going to catch you in the act of it and use it in order to bribe or blackmail or do something worse in order to get what they want, get you to do what they want you to do if you don't want to agree to it. So it's first recorded in 1590, the darkening of meaning being perhaps due to misunderstandings. Ain't that funny? The darkening of meaning being perhaps due to misunderstanding of Latin libertinus. Okay. In Acts, we even getting a scripture here. Check it out later. I'm thinking of 6 and 9. Okay. And I never really thought about looking up the scriptures with the Roman numerals, but I think that maybe you can find some older Bibles if you try doing it that way. I'm going to try it one day. For conditions of being a libertine, 17th century English tried these words. Okay, so infidel, adherent of a religion, opposed to Christianity, from Middle French infidel, from Latin infidelis, unfaithful, not to be trusted. Okay. Unbelieving, unbeliever, from in, not opposite of, faithful, root, behid, whatever that is, to trust, confide, or persuade. Originally a non-Christian, especially a Saracean. Later, one who does not believe in religion. Okay, a disbeliever in religion, generally 1520, also used to translate Arabic kafir. Oh, now a kafir, ain't that something they used to call people or call people in one of those lands? One of those lands they call dark people that. I can't remember. Which is from a root meaning to disbelieve, to deny, strictly referring to all non Muslim, but virtually synonymous with Christian. Hence, from a Muslim or Jewish point of view, a Christian 1530s, an adjective from mid 15th century of a religion opposed to Christianity. 1520 as rejecting the Christian religion, okay, while accepting no other. And that's funny, Christian religion. Both of those are bogus terms in my eyes. A corsair, okay, government sanctioned freebooter of the sea. Huh. Okay. Freebooter of the sea. A government sanctioned freebooter. I wonder if that's like a pirate or something. I don't know. 1540 from Middle French concierge from provincial. Uh, let's just see. Yes, it is a pirate. Okay, it could be a pirate. Okay, okay. So from Latin, cursus, and again, are these the people? See, government sanctioned. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. That I'm just guessing that government sanctioned mean that maybe you had some kind of rights. I could be totally wrong. You can look up that word sanction and see, but just off the bat is just saying something like somebody that was, just like how they used mobsters. The government had something to do with mobsters back in the day to get things done. Um so yeah. Okay. From that and from curses and course, a running from courier, whatever, a courier, maybe that's courier, I don't know, to run, okay? The sense of medieval Latin verb involved from course to journey to expedition, okay? To journey to expedition to an expedition specifically for plunder. As a privateering pirate ship from 1630s, okay? The name in the languages of the Mediterranean for a privateer, okay, chiefly applies to the cruiser of Barbary, okay, to whose attacks the ship and the coast of the Christian countries were insanely exposed. In English, often treated as identical with pirate through the Sarasean or Turkish concierge. Again, Turkish has been ringing my bells lately. I've been running into a lot of stuff about Turkish people and immigrants and things like that here in this land. So we are authorized and recognized by their own government as a part of its settled policy towards Christianity. So, okay, 1300s, Barbary, foreign lands. Okay, that's weird. That's what the meaning is? Okay, 1300s, are we in the third day? Just want to know. Foreign lands, especially non-Christian lands. Okay, so that would have been America. Okay, from Latin barbaria, foreign country, or foreign, because remember, God did not let it rain. He did not let it rain on the earth, meaning the indigenous population. Okay, whether they had different phenotypes or not. A foreign country, okay, from barbarous, strange, foreign, meaning Sarasean nations on coast of North Africa, is attested to 1590 via French from Arabic Berber, ancient Arabic name for the inhabitants of North Africa beyond Egypt. Okay. Perhaps a native name, perhaps an Arabic word from Barbara, okay, to Babel, confusingly. Hmm. But this is, but this might be ultimately from Greek barbaria. The actual relations of, if any, of Arabic and Greek words cannot be settled. Okay, have from the first been treated as identical with El Barbaria Byzantine, such and such barbarians. Okay, so we could keep going, but we're not. I think we spent way too much time here. I'm going to go ahead and read something that I wanted to read out loud for you guys, and it says some. This is from the Archaeologia Alania, or whatever, something. You see the thing here. So it says some remarks on the Mithric worship in the Western world. So, okay. And when we use that term Western, oh, with the Western point of view, and a lot of times they be talking about, Australia and UK and England and London. They talking about those places too, I think, because really, if you think about it, the people or the family lines that came here and do what they do and are still in so-called power, are connected to that landmass. Still, it's like a long-term position that they have here. So I don't say that it's ours. I say it's theirs, and they brought it here and they put it on people, and they did it really creepily and sneakily, and they just kind of just went in and just planted the seed, and it just flourished, and now we're looking around like, what the hell is going on? So it's really just crazy. So by Reverend Samuel Beale, uh, rector of Fallstone, excuse me, North Time, I don't know, okay, 1879, it says the worship of Mithras. Mithras led me to start thinking about, what's her name, or his name. I think it's Maverna or something like that. Mithra and Minerva. Yeah, Minerva. Something. I can't even read my own spelling here. And Mithra. Okay, so I don't know. So the worship of Mithra, so interesting on many accounts to the student of religion. Okay, originating amongst the primitive. Okay, that might be a good term for you guys to, if you look into like indigenous stuff. I'm always looking for different terms to Google or search or whatnot, to find older books and stuff like that, because it's really hard to find stuff prior to the 1800s. Okay, so primitive Aryan people, and I wonder what we would get if we look at the Aryan people now compared to the primitive. Okay, as yet not divided into the nations which afterward peopled India, Persia, and Europe. Okay, the Persian Mithras and the Sanskrit Mitra are identical. Okay, are identical. And although we do not meet any early mentions of Mithras in Greece, Still, we find the primitive idea of the Persian and Sanskrit deity. Okay, so named embodied the Greek Athene, and that reminded me the other day when we were reading something about I think it was the Autochthon or Autochthon. There we go. Peoples, and it said that these people usually stake claim to being connected to Athenian and some other bloodlines. And I thought that was kind of weird because they show those people as looking very, uh, even the females looking very masculine, very like large in stature and bone structure. And, I just thought it was weird because the same thing when you look at those old pictures from that, The New World book by Montanus or whatever the name is. Um, I don't know. I just thought that that was kind of just weird or whatever. So both pointing the light of day. And this is what we're just talking about in Genesis, and this is why I'm reading it to you guys. Both pointing to the light of day shed forth on the world at the opening of dawn. Okay. Now I wonder how much of that is symbolic and how much of that is really actually talking about something with the luminaries or whatever. Okay. And it says, it is one of those singular instances of perversion in the development. Now, again, to me, this means something ain't right. Perversion. Hmm. I don't know. In the development of religion, that the worship of Mitra, which is at one time a comparatively pure worship, like that of the whatever this word is. I ain't even gonna try to say it because I don't know what the hell to say. Uh, Maybe it's that other word that I had up here. Anyways, should have degenerated. Um, wait, gene rated. So degenerated in the later days to the degraded form it assumed in the Roman Empire. Hmm. The earliest object of reverence amongst the undivided Aryan nation, now, so the Aryan nation was undivided, was the bright sky. Are we in the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth day? You know what I'm saying? So, okay, was the bright sky Dionysus, okay, or Daynus, Deus, um, known as Zeus. I'm guessing, I don't know, in Greece, and Jupiter in Rome. In the idea of the bright sky are contained two distinct elements, which afterwards came to be invoked separately. So there we go again, one to rule this and one to rule that. And in fact, supplanted or supplanted, okay, the worship of Dyaus amongst the Aryans in India. The two elements of the sky itself, the vault of heaven, okay, called Varuna, okay, in Sanskrit, and I don't know what else in Greek. And the light of heaven called Mithra in Sanskrit. Okay, so the light of heaven was called Mitra in Sanskrit. And as I have said, the same as the Greek Athene. Okay, hence in all the Vedic hymns, and that's what I want to look up, Vedic. Okay, writings or whatever they're talking about when it comes to that. Save one. Mitra and Varuna reminds me of Venus, but I'm pretty sure we're not probably talking about that. I'm just reaching. are associated. They are invoked together. Their union, in fact, is the same as dais and deus or whatever. Consequently, is no more heard of. Okay, let's see. Varuna, however, is worshipped separately, and to him is attributed the supreme power, even when so distinguished from Mitra. Let me see. Okay. Um, Worshipped separately, and to him is attributed supreme power, even when so distinguished from Mitra. And the reason of this is plain. Okay, y'all, I'm tired, but let me just get through this. For though the light of the heavens disappears. Now, I just heard somebody speaking on the light of the heaven that somebody said ancient days or something that the sun disappeared, and this might be how they were able to take away the power from said so-called people. Okay, I might be reaching too much. I might be going too far, too ahead of myself, but I don't know. That just stands out to me. Okay, the vault of heaven remains unmoved. Okay. Hence, again, Varuna is very often identified with the night. Okay. The vault of heaven without the light. The vault of heaven without the light. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I have so many things that I'm thinking about right now. I'm not even going to even state them until I go through them a little bit more and see what I'm really trying to say. Thus, the old Vedic uh, com- commem- commentator, okay, Sayana says, whoever there, Mitra is the god who presides over the day. And now here we go right here. Here we go. Here we go. Where we at? Oh, and to preside over the day. In this Living Bible, Genesis chapter 1, and I think it's 14 and 15. Wait, no, it's 16. For God had made two huge lights, the sun, okay, and the moon to shine upon the earth. The larger one, the sun, to preside over the day, and the smaller one, the moon, to preside through the night. Okay, and then stars. Okay, and then in 18, chapter 1, 18, verse 18, it says, and to preside over the day and the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and God was pleased. Okay, so let's just see what else we're going to see here. So Mitra is the guy who presides over the day. According to the Vedic text, the day is Mitra. Okay. And again, Varuna, okay, or Varuna is derived from the root. Again, what root? Is it the prime root? Mm-hmm. To cover. So, okay, again, the root that is covered. Okay. And I'm gonna go because I hear a lot about Mitra and all that other stuff, but I never really heard about Varuna. So I'm very interested in to see what that is really talking about. Okay. Because I think we see a lot of representation of Mitra everywhere, or Mithra, not the Sears Tower. The hell am I talking about? The what's the thing that's holding the torch over there in New York? The Statue of Liberty, maybe. Just like how we're just reading those definitions and it had something to do with liberty or the liberals, the libertarian or whatnot. So, okay, let's just keep going. Okay, y'all, I keep getting sidetracked. Um, Derived from the root to cover. Okay. And I don't know about you, but the root or the prime root, the earth, um, I don't know. And to divide the light from the darkness. I don't know. Okay, he envelopes the wicked in his snares and is the God who rules over the night. He envelopes the wicked in his snares. Huh. And it is the God who rules over the night. It is to be observed, therefore, that the earliest idea of Mitra was not the sun, okay, but the light of the sun. This has been well brought out by Professor Roth in his paper on the highest God of the Aryan nations. I'm thinking, is this talking about the Most High God? And is this a Professor Roth or Rothschild? I'm reaching, but I'm just saying. Okay, the Aryan nations, Journal of the Germ Oriental. German, maybe? I don't know. Okay, within the circle of the added yeah, added. Okay, we ain't gonna get that from me tonight. There subsists the oldest connection between Mitra and Varuna, who are invoked more frequently together than Varuna is invoked singly. Okay, we find only one hymn in which Mitra is invoked singly. This dual invocation is observed in the Zend Avesta. Under the form of Ahara and Mitra. Wait, let me do a little bit better. Okay. I'm lost. Okay, the dual, okay, Zend Avesta under the form of Ahara. Okay, which provides, oh my gosh, which proves how close the ancient connection of the two was, the essential character of the two gods as distinguished from one another, is nowhere expressed in the hymn and was in fact originally one which could not be defined with intellectual precision, but the stage of religious culture which lies before us in the Rig Veda enables us to distinguish the difference. Let me write that down too. Okay, enables us to distinguish the difference as one already exists. That Mitra is the celestial light in the manifestation by day. Okay, while it's Verona through the Lord of all light, okay, and all time. Now, see, that brings me back to the light of the darkness and the light. Right there, and then this lesser one to preside over the day and night and to divide the light from dark. Okay, and then the other one was to preside over the day, and the other one, the moon, to preside through the night. Okay, and God set them in the sky to light the earth and to preside over the day and the night. Okay. And divide, so that would be everything. So the earth, the day, and the night. And divide the light from the dark. Okay. I don't know if that's making sense to me or anyone else at this point. I'm just reading it just to get it out there because then I'll be behind when I come back here tomorrow. Okay, so the essential character of the two gods is distinguished one from another. Okay. Originally, one which could not be defined with intellectual precision, but the stage of religious culture which lies before us in the Rig Veda enables us to distinguish the difference as one already existing. Okay. That Mithra or Mitra is the celestial light in the manifestation by day, while it's Verona. Okay. And they seem like they keep on changing the damn spelling on me. Okay. Through the Lord. Okay. Through. Okay. Hold on. Let's just go back. Mithra is the celestial light in its manifestation by day. So it's just there in the day, kind of like the scripture we just said. Okay. While it's Verona through. Now, didn't I just put emphasis on that? Why did we say through? Okay. Because it says to preside through the night. He had also made the stars, and God set them in the sky to light the earth and preside over the day and the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and God saw whatever. Okay. So again, we're using that through. I hope that don't say the. I hope that don't say though. So okay, not so it don't. It says though. Okay, so while it's Varuna, though the Lord of all of the light and all time. Oh my God, y'all. Okay, I'm so sleepy, but I don't want to give up. But I don't want to confuse anybody or make anything. Okay, Mitra is the celestial light in its manifestation by day. While it's Varuna, though. See, and that's what was confusing me. While it's Varuna, though the Lord of all light and of all time, yet rules especially over the nightly heaven. Now, this is making me think we're talking about a different type of heaven. The nightly heaven. I don't know. A hymn. I'm too new to looking into this to just make any assumptions. So let me just read. A hymn of Visishtha, whoever she is, says one of you, i.e. Varuna, is the Lord and unassailable or unassailable guide. And he who is called the friend, Mitra, calls men into activity. So again, when we're in the first chapter, we're even talking about that, to call people into activity. Let us make a man and put him in our, and then make him do all this other stuff and command him to do this and that. I'm not saying what it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it ain't, I'm just saying what it's looking like right now to me. But I'm real tired right now, so I don't know. This is why we're here to share information so that you can then take the information and then do what you please with it to look further or not. So, okay, into activity awakens life and brings joy and activity to the world is the narrow sphere of Mitra's power, though Varuna is not thereby regulated to night alone, for he comes to be Lord and the first. Or, in other words, the vault or the covering canopy of the firmament, which, again, I'm saying is the establishment that they set up here. Okay? First. Okay? Let's see. The night alone. Wait, Varuna is not thereby regulated or relegated. Stop. Okay, relegated to night alone, for he continues to be Lord and the first. So he don't do it with the night alone. But again, we have in 18, Genesis 1 and 18, and to preside over the day and night. Okay, so it's not the day alone, it will be the night too. Okay, so I mean, I'm just going, like I say, I'm just speaking what's coming to mind right now because I haven't looked too much into this whole thing here. So, let's see. Or in the other words, the vault or covering canopy of the firmament remains the same, though his companion and friend Mitra, the light, is absent. Okay? I said that the knowledge of Mithras was possessed by the entire Aryan race before their separation. So before their separation, the whole Aryan race, which I want to know more about, okay, okay, um, the light is absent, okay. I said that the knowledge of Mithras was possessed by the entire Aryan race before their separation. In proof, let me quote the words of Dr. Wendy Schman. Okay, in his dissertation on the Persian Mithras, says it is established that this god, who was known to the old Aryan race before its separation into the Iranian and Indian branches, though the conception of his character, and we know what conception means to a certain extent, of his character was subsequently modified by Zoroastrian idea. Reminds me of Zorobabel, whatever the hell his name was. Austrian reminds me of. Okay. That Mithra was worshipped in Persia and previous to the age of Herodotus is proved as when whoever his name is remarks by the common use of such names as Mithridates and Mitrobates. Herodotus indeed speaks of Mitra as a goddess and not a god. Okay. Or could it have been both? Just saying. But Exonophon, a Plutarch, okay, described him as a god, while his Plutarch tells us that Zoroaster considered Mithra as standing intermediate between the deity and Aramanius, that is between the light and darkness, or God and sin. So again, to preside over the day and night, to divide the light from the dark. Here we get a hold of the idea of, okay, so anyway, guys. Oh, wait, let's see. Of the idea of Manes, the Persian founder of the Manichaean sect, okay, said that Mithra was Christ. Okay, somebody said that Mithra was Christ. Okay, let's see. It is simple. It is simple. Okay, it is simple. This, the light, is mediator. Again, are we in the fourth or fifth day? So we just said that Genesis. Let's see what it says right here. In King James Version, 18, 1 and 18. Genesis 1 and 18. And to rule over the day and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the dark, and God saw it was good. Okay. Trying to reconcile the real. Okay, Mithra was Christ, and as simple as this, the light is mediator or intermediate between the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, between a harem, okay, and the other one that you see right here, the harbinger of the day and the power of darkness, the night. Manes trying to reconcile the realistic teaching of nature worship to the divine revelation. Introduced Mithras as mediator between God and man and called him Christ. So Mithra, okay, was the mediator between God and man, okay, and called him Christ. That's, hey, I don't know. I'll have to find some more about this Mithra. Okay. Let's see. Okay. To show that the primitive, there we go with that prime idea of Mitra was not the sun itself, but the light of the sun. We need only to quote this person and this and this, where the sun is spoken of as the Eye of Mitra. Okay, now there we go. The eye. Now here we go with that one eye symbolism. There we go with that eye that's in the Freemason symbolism, okay, or imagery or whatever. Okay. Of Mitra. Okay, maybe even that eye that's on top of your dollar bill, right? Just as he is said by Hesiod to be the eye of Zeus. And there we go with that Jesus referring to Zeus, or Zeus referring to Jesus. Okay. Or a Shakespeare says, and there we go with people saying that Shakespeare had something to do with the writings of the Bible. Though thy speech doth fail, one eye that has to look to heaven for grace. And again, so we go back to that one eye symbolism. We go back to that whole thing with the third eye. And then we go back up here to the top where I was just talking about the fact that I think we might be talking about a different heaven at that point in time. That we may not be talking about that heaven. What if, and I was just thinking, what if we're talking about that that God that said to reside in man or in people? You know what I'm saying? What if going within and even using that third eye is a way to get enlightened? Because another thing, when I was reading the Bible and then I was reading another description for something else, I think it was sky, that it said that opening where the light can shine through or something. And then again, I think I was talking to you guys about just even them saying to the point where is there a simulation or something going on, and then basically we're not basically really seeing things when we look with our eyes. It's the reflection of some old whole stuff that have to do with science and how our eyes really work and things like this. So I don't know, that's getting too deep for the time that it is, so we're gonna go ahead and just leave this here. But that right there kind of stands out to me. um though thy speech doth fail, one eye thou hast to look to heaven for grace. um Excuse me, the sun with one eye vieweth all the world. To seek the beauteous eye of the heaven to garnish. Okay, and again, when it comes to that third eye, I think that whatever garbage we've been feeding ourselves, they've been feeding us in their systems or in their structure or with their firmament from the direction of their firmament. Okay, we'll say that. Um, I think that some of that stuff, it blinds the eye, right? It blinds the eye or calcifies the eye. Thine eye be single is coming to my head. I think it's a scripture or something about that. Maybe we can look into that another day. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking that something else, because even if the original Indians or people that were here didn't have a God, and they said that they're already connected 100% with this, what you talking about, like sound like your God, but with us, we don't have to do all that. It's already here within us. So again, I don't know. I don't know. And it says, and from this we shall have to show presently the factor Mithras in the resolution of Dias or Zeus into Varuna, and Mitra is often taken for the whole Zeus himself. Okay. I said that Mitra alone is only once celebrated in the Rig Veda, but sufficient is afforded in the phrase employed in his hymn to lead to safe conclusion as to his earlier character. First, it is stated that Mitra, uttering his voice, calls men to act. See, I ain't been talking about him, but I'm just saying. First, it is stated that Mitra, uttering his voice, calls men to activity. This is the voice of nature. Now, what are we talking about here? And it always, if I want to be really 100% honest, what is that Baphomet really standing for? I don't know. Sometimes I think they letting us run with all this stuff because it's some kind of reverse psychology. Mm-hmm. Because just because these people are taking pictures with this particular Baphomet or whatever in their pictures and doing all this stuff, other stuff, that's just still one sided. He's not taking no damn pictures with the I don't know. I don't know. But no, okay, let me stop, playing around. But anyways, I sometimes think when it comes to nature, is that just a scary way because we're ignorant to it when we're looking at this goat thing or whatever, and then we automatically connect it to the stuff that we feel might be going on in Hollywood, because unless you're there, you know what I'm saying, I can't say 100% what's going on, but I can tell you what my spirit is screaming out to me when I'm looking at these people, when I'm looking at these instances, and when I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So spiritually something is screaming to me, but again, I don't want to get cross whatever, but like this is basically stating the eye is up covering the or behind the that Mithra is the light behind the eye. And if you look at all this symbolism, you'll see the eye and then the light behind it. You'll see Christ and then you see Jesus, and you'll see the light behind him. So I don't know. Okay, so this is the voice of nature or returning to light of day. And again, what's going on? Okay, are things popping that we really can't explain? Who knows? Mitra with unwinking eye. Okay. So that means that we're not talking about the eyes that's outside, because those wink or those can blink or whatever. We have to be talking about something else. Beholds all creatures. And again, I know that a lot of people, when we're talking about the pineal gland, say that when they did that study back in one of those wars and they were cutting people's heads open to see what they had in there, and that the so-called black people or the American Indians, their pineal gland had some kind of fluid or something in it, and it was working fine. But they came to find out that the so-called white men was calcified. Um, so on that note, before I go start reading anything else, um, mm, here's the idea of the sun and the source of light as the eye of the world. Is presented, from which eventually sprang the confusion of cause and effect, making the sun equal to Mitra, and Mitra's sun a, a deity infinite. Uh, Sacred rites have food. Okay. All right. So yeah. So anyways, we're gonna stop there. This video went way further than I wanted it to. It really did. So I apologize for that. And I hate when they cut stuff out of the book like this, if this was cut out. But anyways, so yeah, I'm so sorry I kept you guys this long. Anytime you can stop the videos, come back to them, listen to them on your, when you're in your car or something, when you're washing dishes or whatever, just to see if anything resonates with you. And I want to thank you guys for watching and listening. And I promise that I will see you guys soon. Try to at least get one video out a day. Hopefully tomorrow I will be able to go to bed, since it's not 4 o'clock. 1 o'clock is decent for me to get enough sleep so I can get up early before everybody else gets up asking me for stuff. And then maybe we can go ahead and go into this Genesis chapter 3. I think it's 3 and 4 that I did. So again, I will see you guys soon. Until then, take care.